Hey there, Stampers. Happy Monday. Welcome to the last full week of the month where I go live every day featuring a bundle. And this week I am going to focus on the Hippo Happiness bundle from the annual catalog. Now this is a bundle that is carrying over to the next annual catalog. However, it will not be available as a bundle, which means that you won't be able to save the 10%. So that is only available until May 3rd. All right. So let me introduce myself for anybody who's new here. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and I'm excited to be here to share a fun, bright, cheerful layout with you today. So all week long, I will be creating at 10 a.m. Mountain Time right here using this Hippo Happiness bundle. Today I'm going to kick off the week with a layout, and then the other 4 projects are all cards. And if you want to create these projects apart from the layout, if you place a $60 order from my online store using this month's host code, which I'll put in the description after the video goes live, then I'll send you the pieces to create the 4 projects. So not today's, because it's a scrapbook layout. It tends to use a few more supplies, and 12 by 12 is just too difficult to mail. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, Kim and Lorraine and Rhonda. Welcome, happy Monday. I hope you're having a good start to the week. I am going to start by showing you what I've pulled out. So I've pulled out, obviously, the bundle. I've also pulled out the layering circles and the playful alphabets dies. These are go-tos when I scrapbook, well, actually when I create, period. These are a couple of my go-to items. And then I've also pulled out, let's pop these over here. I've also pulled out something from the upcoming catalog. So this is not the in color, this is the Brights 6x6 Dsp Collection from the new annual catalog. Okay, so the one that starts on May 4th. However, you can get an in-color collection, or not an in-color, why do I keep calling it in-colors? You can get a Brights collection with different patterns from the current annual catalog. So it really doesn't matter what patterns you use. These ones have, let me share. So there's 4 sheets, I think. Yeah, 4 sheets, or is there 8? No, I think there's 4. 4 sheets of each color, and here are the patterns. I love this one. These ones are my favorite. Okay, let me share the other pattern. It's got a stripe with a dot pattern, and then that one. And then, so then they come in all of the colors from that collection. So this one, like I said, is the Brights collection. And I don't know, this Hippo Happiness bundle just screams it needs to be bright. It needs to be bold and bright and beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna use some of those pattern papers. And then I also threw in some rainbow glimmer paper because again, I don't know, when you look at these images, I just see rainbows. So, or rainbow colors. So we're going to use some rainbow glimmer paper in this as well. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and share kind of what I've put together so far. Nothing is adhered. I just kind of did a bit of cutting so you don't have to watch me do so much. All right, so I've got a piece of 12 by 12. This is Coastal Cabana. I've got a piece of white 12 by 12 that I've cut down. I've cut 3/8 of an inch off of 2 sides. Okay, so that I have this nice Coastal Cabana border. And before I adhere that to this, I'm going to gut this. So if you guys have watched me scrapbook or have participated in any of my scrapbook classes, you've seen me do this before. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything here. And this is a way to reduce the bulk in your albums, but also conserve your cardstock or your pattern paper. So whenever you have like a larger layer going on top of a 12 by 12 piece. If lots of the center is going to be covered, then this is a great solution. You can gut it, or that's what I call it anyways. So I will normally, if it's just a narrow border, I will normally give myself a 1-inch frame all the way around the edges. So what I'm doing is I'm lining the edge of my cardstock up with the 1-inch mark. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Christine. And I'm lining my blade. Now my blade is in the center of this. So I'm lining the center bit up, so where my blade is, up with the 1-inch mark, and I'm going to cut all the way down to the 11-inch mark. Okay, that's going to give me a 1-inch gap at the top and a 1-inch gap at the bottom. And then I'm going to rotate it a 1/4 of a turn and repeat that. I'm going to repeat that on all 4 sides. So my blade is already at the 11-inch mark. I'm just going to leave it there and go all the way up to the 1-inch mark. And then the 3rd side down to the 11-inch mark, and then rotate it again. Okay, then we can move this out of the way. So this will give us a nice 10 by 10 inch piece, which is bigger than 8.5 by 11, that you can use on another project. And we still have the same look as we would have if I had not taken out the center. Good morning, Joy. All right, so we're going to go ahead and adhere this. And I just noticed that my adhesive is running low. Hopefully I don't run out. So when you adhere this, obviously you only want to put adhesive around the edges and not in the center, because there's nothing in the center of your background piece to stick it to. So this really stretches your supplies. I love doing this, especially with patterned paper, because you don't want to cover up all that patterned paper when you can use that on another project. There we go. Okay, so there's our background piece. Now I've gone ahead and I've cut out a bunch of shapes using the Hippo and Friends dies. Now I bought these dies. This is not normally a set I would go to. I don't have a lot of littles in my life to make cards for, so this is normally not a set I would go to, but look at the dies. There are so many great label shapes in this die set, and this is what drew me to this collection. Otherwise, I never even would have given that a second look. It is a really cute set, and you'll see by the end of the week, I'm pretty sure I'll have you convinced. But what I've done is I've taken these 3 label shapes in various sizes. They're similar, just slightly different, and they've got stitching on them. You know, I love me my stitching. So they've got stitching around the edges, and I've cut out various sizes from different colors of the patterned paper. So remember, I have both sides that I can choose from. So I'm just going to kind of randomly position these. I kind of want to go at an angle like this. So I'm just going to play around. I also cut out 2 from Glimmer paper. I may end up cutting out more. I'm just not sure. I just cut some out to start with. Okay, let's see. I think I want to replace this just because I didn't like those 2 patterns side by side. So we'll put this one at the bottom. And then I think I want to do this one here. And we'll do a green here. And that there. Nope, that's too much green. Let's bring this blue one down here. And then a purple one here. And I'm going to do this layout for a 4x6 photo. So I cut a piece of black to map my photo. This is actually, I cut it 4x6. And then I've got just a piece of laser copy paper in white that measures 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. So when I go to add my photo, I will cut my photo 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. and that will just give me just a tiny little bit of this white showing and then a little bit of the black. And I find, I've mentioned this before, I think it was last month when I did my flamingo bundle, and I was using bright colors. I love brights with a pop of black. So that just gives me a subtle pop of black in behind here. And you'll see I'll use some black in different ways as well to bring in some more of that black. Okay, so I'm going to play around with the positioning of these with this in mind, with my photo mat on here. These shapes are good to kind of tuck in behind a photo. Let's do that one there. Okay, I think I'm happy with the way that looks. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adhering them. Good morning, Carol. I know, aren't these dies beautiful? Okay, now because this has lines, I'm trying to make sure my lines are straight with the edge. And then this guy will get tucked under like that. I may pop that one up, but we'll see. I'm going to hold off putting that down. Good morning, Susan, or good afternoon. You're obviously in a different time zone. All right. We are scrapbooking with the Hippo Happiness bundle today, kicking off my daily Facebook Lives. I'll tuck this one under about there. And then this guy can go here. I think I'm going to switch it around so that the blue is at the top. Like that. Okay. And then my frame, I did not bring my ruler over, so we are going to just eyeball this. Okay, and you notice that I just put adhesive in the center of my mat so that I could easily kind of tuck things underneath here. And then we'll do this one. All right, and just have a little bit of that one showing. Okay, so there is our base. So this one is not stuck down. Oh, let's go ahead and stick it down. I didn't pop this one up, so we'll put this one flat as well. Okay. All right, so now we need to think about a title, and my title is going to be That Unicorn. So I went ahead and I used those playful alphabet dies. So these ones here, I used some adhesive sheets, put them on the back, and I cut out the word unicorn because I really wanted the word unicorn to stand out. And I cut it out of that beautiful glimmer, rainbow glimmer paper. And I have a feeling my title, I'm not sure if it's going to go there or if I'm going to line it up here. Okay, let's see what this looks like. So I could do that, or we can move it up here. No, I think I prefer it down here. So I do have the words be that I still want to add. And for my titles on scrapbook layouts, I love to combine different fonts and some dies and some stamps to make my title. So sometimes I'll pull in words from different greetings to make up my title. A lot of times I do use this die. And unfortunately, we don't carry a ton of alphabet sets anymore. And I'm one of those demonstrators that really gets rid of a lot of stuff that retires. And in hindsight, I wish I had never gotten rid of any of my alphabet sets. Right now, the only alphabet stamp set that we carry that is current is the Make a Difference stamp set, which has a scripty font in it and a small little kind of typeset font in it. And I did not keep that out. I packed it because it's retiring. So I do have an alphabet set that is not Stampin' Up! That I'm going to use for the rest of this. So, and unfortunately, because Stampin' Up! is not releasing any more alphabet sets with this next annual catalog, you'll probably see me use this set quite a bit to make my titles on my scrapbook pages. So I'll share that with you in a minute. What I'm doing is I'm just peeling off the backing on my letters and sticking them down. And I love how it goes from yellow to orange to red, or pink, I guess. It's a bit more pink than red. It's just the perfect, I don't know, this rainbow glimmer paper is just perfect for this title. Okay, and we are going to use the stamps. Definitely, we're going to do some unicorn embellishments for our embellishment clusters. You know what, Carol? This is a fabulous alphabet set. And you know what? It's a great size because it's a size that you can use on cards and scrapbooking. So if you wanted to do happy birthday or, you know, some of those, some greetings, some words, even hugs or different things on cards, it's a great size for card making as well. Oh my gosh, I can't seem to get this. Oh, maybe it's not, doesn't have adhesive on the other half. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, it's a little crooked, but that's okay. Okay, so now we've got part of our title. Now I'm going to stamp the rest of my title. So this is the alphabet set that I've got. I've got 2 different sizes in this font that I picked up. I absolutely love this font. I'm a huge Rae Dunn fan. I love Rae Dunn. And this font kind of reminds me of her font. So we are going to stamp the word. I'm going to go up this way. So that is going to go here, and then B is going to go there. So I'm going to stamp my words backwards because I want them to line up with my photo mat. So I'm going to start with the letter T, and clear sets like this, I usually like to put them down and then put my block on top so that they don't get distorted. And this is another way I'm going to bring in that black color. So I'm going to stamp them in Memento. And I'm just going to try this on my scrap. Make sure it stamps okay. So there's my T, and then I gotta make sure I'm spelling this right because I'm doing it backwards. And then this alphabet set, Elaine, it's called the Willow Upper Small, and it's from Kerri Bradford Studio. She has a small, she has a medium, and a large. And there was a lower one as well. However, it sold out really quickly. So I'm not sure if these are still available. I did just buy them recently, but she sells out really quickly. Okay, so now we need an H. And then we'll do the T, which I left on the back of the block. Oh, it's tough to see. Let's take this H off. Look how cute that is. I love it. Okay, and then I just want to do the word B. So again, we're going to do it backwards so I can get it to line up with the edge of the photo mat. Thankfully, this is short and you don't have to watch me stamp a bunch of letters. Okay, there we go. So title is done. Now we get to work on the fun part, the embellishments. Thanks for sharing, Joy. Okay. Now we're going to bring in our stamp set. And of course, because our title has to do with unicorns, we are going to do the unicorn. And this is a photopolymer stamp. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. Now these are solid image stamps. So what I suggest you do when you get any photopolymer stamps that are solid like this, take a white eraser and just run it across the surface of your stamps and then clean your stamps. You'll find that the ink adheres a lot better to your stamps when they're solid like that if you do that first. Okay, so this is a two-step stamp, so you can see here that I've got something with a little bit, that's a little bit smaller, and then something that is the entire unicorn shape. Okay, so I tried it both ways. I found it much easier if you stamp the smaller bit, the bit that's going to be darker, or that would generally be darker, if you stamp that first. So I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape. I was limited in my ink colors because many of you know we are in between houses right now and most of my stuff is packed away. So I'm making do with the colors that I have. So I'm going to use shades of purple. So I've got Gorgeous Grape here. I want to make sure I leave enough room for his tail. And I'm going to stamp that down. And then we'll clean this. And then the next layer is going to be done in Highland Heather. So a little bit of a lighter shade purple. So by doing that darker bit first, I can actually see, let's make sure this is well inked. I can see really nicely that stamped bit right through to line it up just perfectly. If you do the lighter one first and then ink your stamp up with the darker one, the darker ink, then you can't see as well through because the ink is so dark. I don't know if his nose inked up very well there. That's okay. I've got one that's already die cut. So, okay. Now he needs a face. So in here we do have, there's several different faces depending on which animal you use. So this is the unicorn face, or you can make it a horse. It doesn't have to be a unicorn. Okay. So there are two eyes. There's nostrils, which are meant to be lined up with this. And then there's this little smile. And we're going to stamp that in black. Hey, Angela from Georgetown. Thank you for sharing, Carol. Okay, now tip to lining this up is I really try to line it up with the nostrils. If you can get the nostrils lined up, then the rest generally falls into place. And look how cute that is. So cute. Okay, and then the last thing that we need to do is we need to add the horn. So I'll put this back. And there's a little horn here. So we're going to stamp it twice. I know, isn't it adorable? And I think it's one that just kind of gets overlooked unless you have, maybe if you've got littles in your life and you do make a lot of cards for young kids. I think this is one that could be overlooked. But I have a friend who has a birthday at the beginning of May, and I think I could make one of the cards that I've made this week. I think it's going to be her birthday card. I think she would love it because she loves rainbows and unicorns and sloths, and she's just really fun. Okay, so now we've got our unicorn. Now I want to show you guys the die that coordinates with this. It does not cut out the horn. So what I did, there is another die that cuts out the horn, okay, so that you can get the horn on here. But the reason why I stamped the horn, let me show you. I've got one that's die cut here, so I can show you. All right. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up a little closer so you can see that little touch of yellow there. When I go to add this horn in behind, by having that little touch of yellow, it looks like more of a solid piece. Okay, you guys still can't see that. Let's try a little bit closer. There's a little bit of a delay here. Let's see. Still really hard for you to see, but you can see just a touch of yellow there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of seal adhesive in behind, and then line that horn up with the stamped horn, and you see less of a seam. It just looks like it's one solid piece. Because it gives you that little bit of a white border all the way around, including right here, by stamping that horn first, you see the solid yellow going all the way up, even though the horn actually doesn't start till right here. Okay, so that's why I stamped it first, even though it was going to get cut off. All right, so I have gone ahead and I've done 3 different colors here. So this one you saw me do, I did Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. This one is Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo. And this one is Melon Mambo and Stamped Off. Okay, so for the solid, the darker one, I did full on Melon Mambo, and then for the lighter version, I did it stamped off because I didn't have another shade of pink that would be necessarily lighter. Okay, all right, so now let's figure out where we want to put these guys. Okay, so there's no purple down here, so I'm thinking the purple guy will go here. There is a fair bit of pink here, but I could add some pink in here. And there's really no Flirty Flamingo anywhere. Just trying to, I like to do kind of like a triangle. And I do feel like this guy needs a little bit more to bring him to life. So I might do some circles in behind there. Let's see. See this? I don't like this. Could do it here because then we could do a triangle. Okay, let's play around with these circle dies that we have. Let's see, what size would be a good size? Thinking maybe that size, and then we could do a scallop. We could do the black scallop to bring in that pop of black. I think that one's too big. To bring in that touch of black in behind, we could do that. And I don't know if we'd want to do it up here as well. Maybe I'll put one right in the middle. So we could do one there, let's see. And then maybe one in the center. Let's try that. And then this guy, I don't think this guy needs one. And now I just realized I did not bring over. Okay, I've got white here, so I can die cut these. Let me see if I can reach my black cardstock. All right. Okay. All right, so we're gonna slide this stuff out of the way and we're gonna bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And then we'll pull that back in when we're done. Okay, let's see what this, yeah, that'll fit on there. I also brought in my black Sharpie pen because there's another way that I'm going to pull in some of that black from my photo mat. Does anybody who's watching have this set already? I think this is one of the $1 Million Achiever sets. I believe it was, I think it's Robin Cardin's stamp set. So one that she helped design. Okay, and we're gonna do, I'm gonna do 3 just in case I decide to add that third unicorn onto a circle. And that way I don't have to pull in the machine again. Okay, here's another question for you guys. Who in your life would you make a card with this for? With this set for? Do you have anybody? Do you have littles in your life, like grandkids or children? If you've got a younger family? Or do you have a friend that kind of likes these kinds of things? Like the hippo is so cute when you see it stamped. I think tomorrow's card uses the hippo. All right, we can slide this out of the way. Ah, your granddaughters. They would love something like this. Okay. Oh my gosh, this layout is perfect for your granddaughters then, right? I agree, Carol. It's not just for kids. Okay, so now we've got that little touch of black, and I love the layering circles when you do it like this because it is just literally a touch of black that goes in behind. And so this looks like a lot of white, but remember that this is going to be replaced with a photo. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's attach this. On here, and then that will get popped up. And then I think I'm going to pop this up as well. Let's add this. A little piece of a dimensional for the rest of him. Okay, and I'm going to do it kind of at an angle. All right, so we've got that. I may bring in like a pop of yellow ribbon in behind there. Just to, there's a little smidge of yellow here, and then there's only just a tiny bit here. I feel like I should bring in some more yellow. We could do that, or we could tuck this in here and do that. We can move it over here, or we could do it up here. Let's see. I don't like that. I do kind of like that tucked in there. I could overlap that a little bit. I don't know, what do you guys think? Either there or here. So do we tuck it underneath the photo mat, or do we put it over in this cluster over here? Carol, I am using, this is the 6x6 Brights paper pack. But this is, the patterns from this one are from the upcoming annual catalog. There is a 6x6 Brights paper pack in the current catalog. They're just different patterns. But it doesn't, the patterns don't necessarily matter. You can use any. Oops. Lost my horn on this guy. Okay, so my second question to you is, does this unicorn need the circle, or does it look better without? I kind of wish he was facing the other way. I think I prefer it without. Okay, I am just going to run to my desk. I have to take my microphone off because I'm not going to be able to reach. I will be back in a minute. I want to grab some yellow ribbon. All right. There we go. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you guys. Okay, so without here, and how about this guy? In the center of this collection or tucked under the photo mat? So this is the Daffodil Ruched ribbon. This, unfortunately, is retiring. I quite like this ribbon. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to bring in just a hint of that yellow that's needed on this side. Oh, Michelle, you almost bought it at the end of March. Yes, after the end of this week, you'll want it for sure. All right. Do you still scrapbook, Michelle? Because I think you scrapbooked back when you lived here. I think, if I remember correctly, I think you were a scrapbooker. Okay, so I'm going to tuck that in there. So I was careful not to add adhesive over top of my photo mat. I added the adhesive on the pink layer so that I can easily add my photo. Let's see, let's rotate this around. And then this is going to go on with dimensionals, and I'm going to strategically place my dimensional here and here so that my photo will still easily tuck underneath. So I'm not going to have to peel anything back when I go to add my photo. Okay, so here, now what I notice is I notice a tiny bit of pink there. I don't want to see that pink because it's not enough for you to actually see exactly what it is. So I'm just going to raise that up just a little bit to cover that touch that was showing there. All right. Okay. So we are going to tuck this. So I'm trying to think. I do feel like this needs a little bit of something else. And I thought, I wonder if a little bit, like to add some journaling. I wonder, where are my dies here? Let's see. Okay, so this is the biggest one. This is the next size down. So what I could do is I could cut this shape from vellum and then write my journaling on a piece of vellum and then tuck it underneath. And that would be a great journaling spot. And I think that would add just a little something up there. I don't know what photo is going to go in here yet. I might look back at some of our older photos and see if I can find one of my daughter when she was a little bit younger. Okay. So let's get a dimensional for this guy. Oh, you guys are like, okay, so cards are your go-to. You guys are really spread out. Your sister in BC and then you out on the East Coast. Do you guys see each other very often? All right, so here, I should not have peeled off the backing on that one dimensional. I'm gonna put this backing back on. And the reason I'm doing that is because that is going to end up sitting on top of my photo mat. So now I can tuck my photo underneath, and then when I'm when I've added my photo, I can peel off that backing and stick it down. Oh, that's cute. All right, and then this guy, we'll add dimensionals to, oh, I think this horn needs to be stuck a little bit better. It's not sticking. Oh, Carol, are you going to add this to your next order? And the alphabet set. Yeah. Good choice. All right. So these, I'm not tucking any photo underneath, so I can go ahead and... All right. Now, the other thing I want to do is, I'm just kind of moving stuff out of the way, because another way that I'm going to bring that black in is I want to kind of bring everything together. So sometimes I find that what's helpful to do that, let's take this off for now, is if you take a black marker or a black pen and just freehand draw a border. And I like freehanding it because it gives it a bit more whimsy, and I'm actually going to do a double layer. So I'm going to do it twice. And you can see I'm not trying to line them up. Let me bring it up a little closer so you can see. So I'm not trying to make them straight. I'm not trying to make it go over, the second layer go over perfectly. And I do that on all four sides. And you'll see that this just kind of brings everything together. I do have to do it this way. So I am using a Sharpie pen. This is my go-to. I love this pen. I use it in my planner. I use it for my journaling. Love, love, love it. Okay. All right, so we've got that. I'm going to die cut a piece of vellum and put that in there for some journaling. And then I feel like it needs like a smattering of something. So let me see. So there are these little sprinkles, or there's these little flowers, or there's a butterfly. I don't know that I want to bring in butterflies, but maybe a little smattering of some flowers. That doesn't go in there. Okay, let's clean this guy so I can use this block. You know what I've learned over the years, Kim, especially when I started scrapbooking live, I've learned that, you know what, you just go with it. If you have an idea, just do it. And it usually ends up turning out just great. Okay, so now maybe I do them in yellow to bring in some more yellow. Let's try that. And then I'm thinking in the center of the flower, maybe a little rhinestone, and that would bring in just a little bit more bling. I think that would be really good. Let's just grab a scrap here. I always like to stamp. The first time I use a stamp, I like to stamp it on a scrap piece just to make sure it stamps okay. Yeah, and that stamps beautifully. Okay, let's do there, and then we'll do down here. And then maybe up here. Oh, I think that finishes it off nicely. Okay, let's grab a piece of vellum so we can see what that looks like. I think I can reach from here. And I'll see if I can reach my cart, which has my rhinestones in it. There we go. Might as well finish as much as I can live for you guys so you can see the finished layout. I will share a photo of it a little bit later as well. Okay, so let's die cut this. For those of you guys who are scrapbookers, do you like to add journaling to your layouts? I know there's kind of some people do, some people don't. And for some people, they don't like to do it, but they do incorporate journaling on their layouts. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so before I stick that down, what I do want to test is I want to test on a piece of vellum. I'm going to write a word. Because this is a darker color, I want to see how well this is going. Okay, so it is legible. So I was worried with the darker color underneath that you wouldn't be able to see the journaling, but I think you're going to be able to see it just fine. So now to adhere it, I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of adhesive under here. Well, I guess I missed where it was going to tuck under, but that's okay. You won't be able to see it once you add your journaling. Okay, that looks like it's straight. Okay, so that's quite noticeable now. I might have to see what I can add there to cover that over. Maybe I'll add a butterfly, because that is significantly more noticeable than I would like it to be. Okay, so now I am going to reach for my rhinestones, and we're going to add a little bit of bling in the center of these flowers. So Kim says that she does add journaling, but she procrastinates. I used to be like that too. I used to keep a pile of layouts that needed journaling. And then when I did my big album reorganization years ago, I had so many layouts that didn't have journaling on them that I was trying to put into albums. So I had to sit down and do them all at the same time so that I could stick them into albums. Otherwise it wouldn't have gotten done. And I vowed to myself that no layout could go back into, or could go into an album until the journaling was done. So I try to make a point as soon as I add my photo to just do my journaling. Because after doing lots and lots of journaling all at once on that big pile of layouts, I never wanted to go through that again. And sometimes if I'm scrapbooking an older photo and I don't necessarily remember all the details or anything like that, sometimes the way I look at my journaling is I will look at it as, okay, how does it make me feel now? And I do my journaling based on that rather than based on, you know, how I felt at that time, or it helps prevent just necessarily always repeating the who, what, when, where. Okay, let me catch up on the... Corrine says she's gotten away from scrapbooking, but starting to get back into it. Yes. I think journaling is really important too. It's nice to tell the stories. Sometimes the photos tell the stories, but journaling kind of helps you put a little bit more emotion and makes it a little bit more personal. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Now, if there was one size smaller of this, I would just, I would just cut a size smaller. There's some balloons, but I don't know that I want to include balloons. It's not really a celebration. I think this butterfly might be just what it needs to cover that over. So let's clean this guy. And then I think that'll be it. It's amazing how just that little bit of stamping just really finished off that layout. Okay, now what color? Do I do it in yellow? To pull in some yellow in the center here, let's try it in yellow and see. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay, the die. You know what? Instead of bringing in the machine, I am just going to fussy cut. That way I don't have to move everything out of the way. There is a die to cut this though. Sometimes it's just faster to fussy cut, especially when I'm doing a live. If I have to move everything out of the way, bring in the machine, line it up, run it through, I can have it fussy cut faster than that. And I don't mind fussy cutting. I know a lot of people don't like fussy cutting though. All right, almost done. There is a little stamp in the stamp set that has the little flight path that you can stamp as well, which might be cute, but sometimes you just gotta stop. Okay, we'll use dimensionals for this guy because I could go on and just keep adding things. That's too big. There. Now nobody will ever notice my little mistake there. I love how it turned out. Let me bring it up a little bit closer so you guys can see the details. So this spot will be for journaling, and then it will hold my slightly smaller than 4x6 photo. I've got my 3 unicorns, and I've used those beautiful die cut labels that are part of that die collection. So the only thing, I'm not 100% sure what this guy is meant for. Maybe the balloon string, that must be what it's for. I wasn't sure what that's for. So I'm looking forward to playing with this set, with this bundle, along with you guys the rest of the week. So remember, I will be back tomorrow and every day and up to Friday and including Friday with a new project featuring this Hippo Happiness bundle. So I hope you guys decide to join me. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous week. I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye, guys.